Hey guys, it's Gameshark and I'm here to help Locke today with one of his Halloween reviews. And today, for you guys, I'm going to be reviewing F.E.A.R, which I can say is a game that scared the shit out of me back in the day. I can specifically remember just watching The Ring and then playing this game, so my fright of little Japanese girls was at an all-time high at this time. And man, let me tell you, this game does not disappoint if you're afraid of little Japanese girls like I am. Now, for those of you who don't know how to use Wikipedia, F.E.A.R stands for First Encounter Assault Recon, and in this game you play as a Special Forces agent who only goes by the codename Point Man, who's tasked with finding out what's going on with this guy who can all of a sudden control genetically modified super soldiers. Now, if F.E.A.R had just come out on its own as just a shooter, it would have drowned in the sea of first-person and third-person shooters that have hit us this generation. The only thing slightly different in terms of gameplay-wise is you're able to use a mode called Reflex ability. For those of you who have ever played Max Payne or Stranglehold, Reflex mode is pretty much the same thing as the special powers in those games, where you're able to slow down time so much that you're able to pick off headshots on guys that you normally wouldn't be able to do. Like I said, if F.E.A.R had come out just on its own, it really wouldn't have much to stand on. However, there is one key difference between F.E.A.R and other first-person and third-person shooters, which is why I'm here today reviewing it for our Halloween episode. Throughout F.E.A.R, you're stalked by this little girl who's named Alma, who somehow possesses psychic abilities to be able to warp your mind and make you see things that aren't really there, able to move objects, you know, typical poltergeist stuff. However, what always seems to be the scariest part in F.E.A.R is when you hear something off in the distance, and when you get there, shit has already happened and you pretty much get to see the end result. For those of you who have played F.E.A.R, you know what I'm talking about. When you hear your Special Forces unit shooting off in the distance, you want to run up and try and save them. And when you suddenly get into the room, there are body parts everywhere, blood is all on the walls, and you just see this faint image of Alma walking away. And I think that was the point in the game where I realized I should be afraid of this little girl. F.E.A.R took a very different and new approach to how it tried to scare you in a game. Unlike, say, Doom 3, which just had monsters jumping out of closets or through doorways to get a little bit of shits out of you, F.E.A.R took a more psychological approach where you'd be walking down a hallway and all of a sudden you'd see a cart slowly get pushed by, or a door would suddenly slam shut in your face, or you'd hear whispers of Alma in your ears saying almost nonsensical things. And I'm going to say that that's a lot scarier than some monster you can just shotgun away. There are also key points in the game which I literally had to just put down the controller because I was so scared. I remember this one where you are beginning to climb down a ladder to get in a sewer, and as you turn around to climb down, you just see Emma at the very top of the ladder staring down at you. There's a point in the game where you begin to realize that you're only alive because Alma wants you to be alive. And I think that's probably the scariest part of all, because all of a sudden you start thinking of all these almost conspiracy theories as to why does she want me to be alive? What can I do to help her maybe? Or what can I do to hurt somebody who, say, hurt her? And while that is a story driver in a sense, I mean, I don't think it needs to be said that any game where you play as a pretty much unknown soldier, the story is just there, almost like a pornography where it's nice, but it doesn't really need to be there. Now, F.E.A.R is a very solid shooter where you're not going to have major complaints about how you shoot a soldier, how you throw a grenade, or anything like that. Even the reflex time feels good. However, with all that said, there is still one big problem in F.E.A.R, and that is its environments. Specifically that you're always fighting in what seems to be a never-ending office building. In all 4 levels, it's all in office buildings, and that gets really boring and stale after a while. Even with, you know, Alma doing all these, you know, really psychotic horror things to keep you on your toes, when you're not, you know, experiencing that and you're just fighting the regular soldiers, it just gets really boring staring at these gray walls non-stop. So is F.E.A.R worth a playthrough in this day and age? If you're a huge fan of horror games and haven't played it, then I definitely say yes. If you're a fan of shooters and are sorta into horror games and you can get over the office environment, then I definitely give this game a thumbs up. However, if say the office environment doesn't really suit you a lot, they have released F.E.A.R 2, which apparently addresses all the issues that I've had with the first game, which was primarily the environment. where now you're in a whole bunch of different environments, and you also get to drive a fucking mech. So, there you go. I really hope you enjoyed my review, and if you do play F.E.A.R, expect Alma to haunt your dreams for a while.